So we have head coach Geno Auriemma, Kia Nurse, and Breanna Stewart here with us. At this time, questions for the student athletes. We'll start here and then go here.
Wide-eyed freshman coming to UConn, now senior season vet. How coming to UConn mature you as a student athlete and as a player?
Well, I think, coming to UConn matures you in a lot of ways on and off the court, just because what they do here, what we do here, how we prepare ourselves, what we expect of ourselves, how hard we work in basketball, obviously, but also school.
Go ahead, John.
This part of the tournament, you usually encounter programs that never play you. A lot of newness. These teams tend to come to these tournaments with bright eyes and expectations of pulling their up.
Right.
Is it important, like the game yesterday, to knock them out very quickly to take the steam out of them before it has a chance to get rolling?
Definitely, especially, in the NCAA tournament, you see, obviously more so on the men's side, it's the upsets. But, when you're playing a team, we haven't played Stony Brook before, and playing Duquesne tomorrow, we want to make sure that, like you said, we knock them out right from the start. So then they have no thoughts that, they can be in this game.
All the way in the back.
I think they came in and did some really great things. And obviously, when you come into your first NCAA tournament, nerves are going to play a little bit of a factor. But as you guys saw yesterday, it didn't seem to really affect them in any way. And they came in and had a great game.
Right here, and then we'll go to the...
The last couple of games, you've been kind of locked in focus. What are some of the things that help you really stay locked in focus, playing on another level?
I just think lately I've been a little bit more focused defensively, trying to make sure that I can be helpful on that end of the floor and then help that translate into the offensive side, and just thinking more about what we can do as a team to make sure that we're successful.
Pat.
Breanna, you've gone through senior day. Tomorrow really is the last game. Really for you. How do you approach that? Do you look around the arena a little bit, think of the crowd a little more? What are your emotions?
I'm not really sure. I think that, obviously tomorrow is my last game at Gamble. It's going to be a mixture of emotions. This is the NCAA tournament, so it's exciting, but then also the fact that, I'm not going to suit up in a UConn uniform on that court again, and, just enjoying the moment. I don't think it's going to be like senior night, just because there was a lot of emotions all over the place, walking out and that kind of stuff, but, I guess I'll just see what happens.
John.
No one can mess up your schedule more than the NCAA tournament, so you go from an 11 o'clock morning game to a 9 o'clock game 48 hours later. You guys address that and how it messes up your routine.
Well, it doesn't seem to really mess up our routine. Our routine for each game is the same, and it just depends on the time, but it is a little funny going from an 11 a.m. game Saturday morning to a 9 p.m. game Monday night. But that's when we're scheduled to play, so that's when we'll be there and we'll be playing.
Marvin. Right here.
I'm sure you should came from a lot high and low. What are you guys' strategy to combat that?
He was looking at you the whole time.
I think our strategy is similar to our strategy against any other team. We want to disrupt them with our defense and have that lead into offense, and come out like we came out on Saturday and try and see how long we can keep that going.
Roger.
Roger Cleveland from the Library of American. Kia, can you talk about how far along your defense has come this year? Not specifically for the team defense, especially with regard to the 3-point field goals, which was obviously a problem early on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, throughout the season, we've done a really good job of getting better each and every game defensively, and we go into practice with that emphasis and understanding that we have great practice players, and we have to ensure that each and every day we're doing our best to slow them down and then translating that into our games. And I think we've done a really good job. Obviously, our defense has gotten better and better through the season and peaking at the right time.
John?
Yeah, just with regard to the three-pointers, I mean, you guys gave up a lot early on, but it's getting better, but now Duquesne is a team that has a lot of shooters and likes to shoot the ball.
Yeah, in practice, obviously, it's become an emphasis, and we understood when you looked at the beginning of the year, you saw the three-pointers that we were giving up, and an emphasis of making sure that we're close enough that they don't have the opportunity to get the shot off, or at least we're contesting it in that sense.
Yeah, everybody has bad days, except for UConn. And tomorrow, your team's going for 71st straight win, which is going to be the second longest in the history of the sport. Just wondering if you could explain the phenomenon of never having a bad day and being able to overcome whatever personal or other issues you have to play well every single day.
I mean, I think that's just something that we try to focus on, ensuring that every game we come out with energy and passion and ready to go. And everybody can have a bad day here, their shots can't fall, those kind of things. But I think we do a good job as a team making sure that we pick each other up. And if somebody's not having a great day at the same time, your teammates are there with you, they've got your back, and everybody understands that.
Were you aware at all when you were growing up in Ontario about that night? Was it something you didn't know about it?
I didn't get ESPN.
Yeah, we don't have ESPN. Not sure if TSN actually broadcasted that, but I'm probably sure it was. I might have been too young to remember that.
It was like not that long ago.
It was that long ago for me.
Go ahead, Pat.
The team was talking a little bit about how they have a lot of picks from around the country and how it was important for them before the season to do some team building stuff and you guys, I know Chris does some team building things. You guys, what kind of things have you done? How does it help you build?
I said, oh, yes, we do team building.
Yeah, CD definitely makes sure we're doing a lot of team bonding activities throughout the entire season, but especially earlier in the season and preseason, we had the 6 a.m. workouts and that kind of stuff, and then we had the marine workouts, which kind of, made you understand that team building and coming together as one type of thing, and they would give us, tasks that they did, obviously not on the scale that they do them, but to see if we could come together and accomplish what they do in, the real world. What was one we did?
There was one where you had to swing a rope across what was a non-existent tree branch. It was just kind of this big pole they built. And we had to get everybody over the rope without touching the ground, which would technically be the danger zone. And you had to find ways to, swing people across without them getting down. And you just have to talk your way through it, and they timed us through it. So we had a certain amount of time to complete that task. And you had a leader, and you had people who were helping you out throughout it.
Okay, just under 20 minutes left on the open locker room. Time for a few more over here, Marvin.
Everybody talks about UConn, all the things that you guys accomplished. My dad is so bruised, grateful for when that's available, the tip off, you guys are locked in. You just keep putting on. What helped you guys staying locked in for 20?
I mean, I think you just look at everything that this program has done and the legacy that the people before us have built, and you can see that the people who came before us were the same way. They were locked in, ready to go for every game. And for us, it's a matter of making sure that, we have great leadership and people who make sure that every single game before we start, we understand what we have to do, the game plan, and when we get out there, it's game time. Nothing else matters. And I think we do a really good job of that.
Anything else for the student athletes? All right, you're dismissed back to the locker room. Okay, at this time, we're going to take questions for the head coach, and we'll start in the back and then come here.
It is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. The start time is the start time, and unfortunately, it's not always what's best for. It's not always what's best for the players or what's best for the fans. It's what's best for the people that are televising it. So once you make that decision to put them in charge, you're going to have to do what they tell you to do. But hey, we played at 11 the other day, and not as many people came to the game as came to some of our regular season games. So I don't know. Maybe we're at a point in time when it doesn't really matter when we play.
Jim.
Jim Fuller, last year you had Kia as a second shot blocker. Years ago, you had Stephanie and a lot of shot blockers. How is this team progressing defensively? Different looks that you have now. You have just one shot blocker. Pressure involved.
Yeah, well, it comes. It comes with the territory. Obviously, you have to take advantage of the strengths that your team has, and there were times a few years ago when, if we had Stephanie and Kia and Stewie out on the floor all at the same time, it was very difficult for people to get anything done in the lane. And we don't have that anymore, So the idea is the same. We got to try to limit how many shots get to the rim. So you can either do that by blocking shots like we used to a lot, or forcing turnovers. Either way, the shot's not getting to the rim. And biggest difference is that a lot of times a block shot is a block shot and may or may not be your possession. But a steal is a steal that leads usually to a layup. So we've actually benefited from blocking less shots but getting more turnovers, which has led to more points. So the flip side of that is you leave a lot of people open, and people start throwing up threes, and sometimes they go in. And, that's the trade-off a lot of times. So when we talk about our three-point field goal percentage defense, it gets better and better as the season goes on because our rotations get better and better and better. But whenever you press and you really force in the issue, you're leaving people open. That's why so few people really press a lot in today's game as opposed to years ago. Because years ago, if you left somebody open, it was a 2. Now you leave somebody open, it's a 3. And, for all the things that people say women's basketball players can't do, they can shoot threes. And, that's the chance you take.
John, and then Pat.
When you put the 90-game win streak together in 2011, did you ever think you'd see a shadow again? And having anything to roll around Marvel along the lines of what I asked the girls, why did you come in and have that?
After that streak was over, it never entered my mind one way or the other that we'd either have another one or it would be as long or half as long. It's like winning a conference championship anymore. I think our program mentally, we're beyond like a winning streak or winning a conference championship or all that stuff. It really has become, these 3 weeks in March, and that's what we gear everything towards. And if that leads to how many games in a row we've won, great, but as far as having a bad day, we have lots of bad days. It's just that our bad days aren't as bad as other people's bad days. We may have bad games that don't necessarily appear to the naked eye as, wow, that was a bad game, or those guys played really bad. Like Kia and Stewie said, a bad game for us might be we don't make shots. That's a bad game for us. So, we'll start a game like we have, and we'll go 1 for 15 like we did against South Florida or whoever it was. And everybody said, well, UConn played terrible. Well, we didn't play terrible. We just shot terribly. So we don't generally ever play terribly. We might shoot the ball terribly. And I think that's a big difference that a lot of people don't get. People equate shooting well with playing well. And we always equate playing well with having nothing to do with whether shots go in or not.
Okay, under 15 minutes on the open locker room. Pat?
Well, they should be nervous. I mean, I'd be nervous if I was them. I mean, their season's going to end tomorrow night. Or they're going to win. So whenever you're like, wow, we're on the verge of either our season ending or we're on the verge of doing something amazing, you wouldn't be nervous? So if they're saying they're not nervous, they're lying. Of course they're nervous. I would be. Hell, I'm going to be nervous because I get nervous before every game. The thing is, though, once the games begin, all that stuff goes away. Reality sets in. So if you're the better team and you play better and you execute better, then the outcome will be what you want it to be. If we go out tomorrow night and we play our A game, there's nothing that Duquesne's going to do that's going to change the outcome of that game. If we go out tomorrow and we play poorly and they play their A game, they could win. That's why we're all here. But
Marvin?
Started off hot.
yeah,
You guys institute more plays for, or you just let them just pick up the flow as the game?
yeah. I can honestly say this. We've been here 30-some years, I guess now, and 99% of the time, we don't run plays for specific individuals to get X amount of shots. We probably should. I mean, we have pretty good players, so we probably should. But we always feel like if we just do what we work on every day, the guys that are supposed to be open are going to be open. And Lou is a lot like Kalina.